Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the black trunks with the American flag trim. At 5 feet 10 inches, he weighed in at 157 pounds. A Fisher MMA fighter with an MMA record of 3 wins and 2 losses. Representing Bang Gym and fighting out of Hernando, Mississippi, Zach Arkansas Wallace. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. He wears the black trunks with white trim. At 5 feet 7 inches, he weighed in at 155 pounds. A hyper-blend fighter with a perfect MMA record of 2 wins and no losses. Representing Pitcher Athletics and fighting out of Bartlett, Tennessee, Vlad the Impaler Stratman.
Mike Kelly doing his thing and doing it well in front of a great crowd here at FedEx Forum, and now Dave Ferguson will give the 2 warriors their final instructions. All right, Rick, we'll put you on the spot again. Wallace Stratman, what do you see here?
Wallace Stratman, we got jiu-jitsu versus wrestling. We're going to look for Stratman, going to shoot in, want to slam his guy, and we're going to look for Wallace to do some jiu-jitsu on the ground.
3 3-minute rounds. And here we go, round number 1, Wallace and Stratman.
You're looking for Stratman to set up his takedowns. Boom, there it is right away. Single leg, lift, and slam!
Big time slam by Stratman.
Like I said right before, he looks to slam, and that's what he does. Some ground and pound coming from Greg. He's looking to make quick work here.
Wallace right now in a heap of trouble. What's he trying to do here?
Right now he's pulling that leg, and he's actually pretty good. He's trying to reverse it right now. He's in actually a pretty good position. You know, Stratman could, well, he pulled his arm out. He almost could get a Kimura. Try the attempt there and kind of fold out. This is where Wallace would like to be right now.
Stratman seemed to lose Wallace for a second. And all of a sudden he was on his back.
Kimura attempt by Wallace. It's pretty deep. What Stratman needs to do is jump over it and get out of this. He's trying to jump over. He can't quite clear. Right now he's safe unless Wallace can transition into an armbar. This is a very precarious situation they're in right now. Punching the butt of the backside of Stratman. So throwing some elbows on the hamstrings. That's definitely going to slow you down a little bit later in the fight.
Under $1:30 now to go in round number 1. Greg Gaston cage side along with the former All-American at Central Missouri State University, Rick McCracken.
This is just kind of a back and forth right now. It's whoever can get a little bit better position. Right now, Wallace has a pretty good position to throw some ground and pound down on him. Stratman, quick reversal, back on top, side mount, and full mount. Back and half.
Almost seemed to slip there.
They are back and forth. These must be 2 slippery fighters.
Big choke right there by Stratman.
Kind of a hybrid choke right there. It wasn't quite a rear naked, and as you can see, it wasn't correct technique, so he slipped right out.
Yeah, Wallace able to get out of it without too much of a problem.
This fight, it's like a double armbar almost. He's trying to use that other arm to pull out.
Stratman able to get away from that, and both back up on their feet. They're trying everything in their mixed bag of tricks.
Great action so far in this fight.
Under 20 seconds to go in round number 1. Nice knee right there from Wallace to the midsection of Stratman.
Stratman stood up, and he looked extremely tired right there.
Both working hard, Rick.
I'm not sure if all that rolling around took a lot out of him.
Winding down here in round number 1, and that's going to do it, but a lot of great action in the first round. That's a tough one to score for a judge, wouldn't you say?
I'm glad I'm not a judge right now. That was hard to score. You got the big slam, the ground and pound, but then you have the submission attempts that Wallace threw on there. It was 2 or 3 submission attempts during that. So, man, I'd give the edge to Wallace right there.
Wallace out of Hernando, Mississippi, and again, fights out of Bang Gym. Fred Fisher, who has trained a lot of fighters, and they call it the Fisher MMA. You know exactly what we're talking about with Fisher's MMA style?
Fisher is teaching his own brand of fighting right now, and he's doing a great job with his fighters. They're mixing in kicks and punches, which most MMA coaches do, but he's putting his own little twist on it. I'm not sure the exact secret there, but you know, it seems to be working tonight.
And both fighters back on their feet. After a chance to catch their breath and get a little aqua. Dave Ferguson now will make sure the two fighters are ready to go, and we're ready to go. Second round action scheduled for 3 in the lightweight division.
Stratman comes out with a couple punches and miss. He uses his stand-up just to set up his takedowns.
Wallace trying for some sort of choke here against the cage, and then he's taken down, or against the wall of the cage, and he's taken down by Stratman.
Both these fighters are pretty surprised that they're both this tough. Usually when you take a fight, you think you're going to win. You think it's going to be an easy fight. You train hard for it, but you don't expect your opponent to be this tough. Right now, Stratman almost has a guillotine on top, and he's trying to lock up the legs. In wrestling, that's called a grapevine, but he's got the guillotine locked. It's almost in.
Wallace in trouble here in round number 2. Can he somehow pull a Houdini and escape?
Yes, he is. He's going to come right out the back door. And he's out.
And now let's see if Wallace goes on the offensive.
He's almost in. Oh, full mount on Stratman.
But can he get any leverage on these strikes?
He needs to scoot back a little bit, get Stratman's head.
How about that? A quick turnaround by Stratman.
Well, what happened is Wallace went for a guillotine, and the rule of thumb for coaches is when you're in a dominant position like he is, you don't go for a submission hold until the last 10 seconds of the round, because it doesn't matter if you give up that dominant position. He went for it. It was a little early.
In fact, so early that there's still 1:10 to go in the round. So now Stratman on top of Wallace. Good action here between these two. 155-pound weight class, the lightweight division. Wallace weighed in at 157, Stratman 155.
Right now, Stratman is stacking him up, and he's not really doing it. He's just kind of sliding him across the mat right now.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Looks like Stratman is just tired. Armbar attempt. It's pretty deep. All he needs to do is turn it, and Stratman, good move. What he did is put his leg around there, use his legs to pull his arm out. But in turn, he gave up his back.
Incredible defensive techniques from both these two warriors, Wallace and Stratman. 20 seconds to go in round 2. Some ground and pound going on here by Zach Wallace.
Right now,
Green Mohawk.
Looks like Stratman is done. Hooks are in. The choke is in. It's applied. Can he last the last 10?
Will he slip out of it again? They've been doing that. I think he's going to make it past the second round, Rick, and we're going to go to a third and decisive round. How about that? Just when you think it might be over. Good sportsmanship between the two, by the way.
Definitely, these fighters seem to like each other still. But right now, it looks like Stratman is down 0-2 on the round count.
I want you to go back to what you were talking about earlier. And you got two guys that are sweating to death out there. And you really got to lock in your chokes. You really got to lock in everything, your legs, your arms. And you talked about slipping. It's pretty easy. Just slip. Extremely
easy to slip. When you go for these holds or anything, you got all the sweat on you, and if you don't have it perfectly, you're not going to get it.
Again, a tough round to judge. The judges, Anthony Martin, Scott Cardo, and Jeremy Byrd. I asked you what to expect before the fight started. You said a lot of great action. That's what we've seen. We're down to one round. You've seen these two and what they have presented to each other for the first 2 rounds. Let me ask you now, what do you expect to see here in the third round?
I think we're going to expect a takedown from Stratman. We're going to expect as much ground and pound as possible, but I think Wallace is too big and too strong for him. If you look at them, they look a little bit different in size and strength. So I think Wallace is going to overpower him, get back on top, and get him in a bad position.
Round 3, here we go. Final round, 3 minutes to decide this one. Two right in front of us.
Kind of a slip takedown right there. Right now, Stratman needs to get past this guard of Davis, or Wallace, I'm sorry. Stratman needs to get past Wallace's guard.
Try to somehow get a full mount, and can't even.
There's some hammer punches, and they're hitting.
And Wallace is covering
triangle.
up.
Wallace is sinking in a triangle on him. And this could be it. It's over.
It's over. Wow. How about Zach Wallace?
Great, great. It was a triangle at first, then he switched off and went right into an arm bar. Great transition by Zach.
And Greg, the Impaler Stratman, has to tap out in the 3rd round as Zach Wallace improves to 4-2. And Stratman put up a good fight, suffers his first blemish. He falls to 2-1.
That's his first loss, but every loss is a learning tool here in this sport.
Great point. You'll go in there into the cage and talk to Zach Wallace. We'll take a quick break, come back with the time right after this. Welcome back to FedEx Forum, a very exciting matchup in the lightweight division, and Zach Wallace gets the win over Greg Stratman. Let's get the official time with Mike Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in the V3 cage in the FedEx Forum, we present the official time of 45 seconds in round number 3. Referee Dave Ferguson calls a halt to the bout due to tap out via an armbar, declaring your winner, Zach Arkansas Wallace.
A very popular fighter, Zach Arkansas Wallace gets the win via armbar, and our Rick McCracken now makes his way inside the cage to talk to our winner, Zach Wallace.
Zach Wallace is your winner. Great job, man. Great job. Everyone give it up for him. Take me through this. 10 seconds in, he lifts you up and slams you. I saw the widths on your face. How hard was it?
It hurt bad. It was hard. Man, one of the strongest guys I've ever gone against.
Great, great. You know, you started working your jiu-jitsu right away, and it looked great in there. Was that your plan the whole time, just get him on the ground and hope, you know, he would wrestle into something?
No, sir. Me, I just take the fight where it goes. We would have stayed up, we would have stayed up. It was up to him the whole time.
He looked like he was getting a little tired there. You slapped on that triangle, and then you transitioned right into the armbar. Did you know it was over right there?
I was hoping it was, but not at all. You know, any submission I catch, I don't plan for it to be over with.
Well, great fight. Is there anyone else you want to thank tonight?
I want to thank my family, my friends, and everybody from Team Tournament.
Zach Wallace. Everyone give it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Zach. Zach Wallace, a winner. The hits just keep on coming here on V3 Fights. More action right after this.